What's going on, everybody? And on here, happy Sunday night. Apologize for the lack of content. It's been really busy. It's budget bonus raise time at work, so a lot of stuff to get done. Early audit season, and obviously we have Avatar and Fantasma Flames and a million ancillary Pokemon products to get out and ship. So it's been really busy, multitasking. So don't want to miss this one. So this is our weekly distribution update. So first things first, I do want to talk about One Piece because I've gotten this question. The second wave of OP13 is coming in about 2 weeks, right around Thanksgiving. But what I will mention is most stores, these aren't open order. This is just going to go to backfill any short shipment for stores from their normal allocation on the from wave one. So I will note that OP13 being an anniversary set, the print run is substantially larger than what it is for OP12 and substantially larger than what it's going to be for OP14. The market doesn't seem to give a shit. So it is what it is. I have not seen any allocations for EBO2. Obviously, that doesn't come out until February, I believe. So it is what it is. Now, being in Philadelphia with Flesh and Blood here this weekend, I'm just kidding. I didn't give a shit. I didn't even know it was here, nor do I care. But we did find out that the new set is coming out in February. I don't know what it's called. I don't remember. But if you're interested, you can probably get it because Super Slam was a little bit of a mess. Not great. And generally speaking, if you crack it and sell singles, I think the margin's decent. So, maybe some opportunity there if you care. Godzilla. The only reason I want to point this out is that the third set is coming out in January, but the first set, there's almost nothing left. There's like 17 boxes left on TCG Player. They're approaching $90 a box, which is really interesting. I don't know if there just wasn't that much that went to market, but I found that fascinating. So anyway, moving on, Gundam. So I've gotten a lot of questions about reprints coming for GD01, which is New Type Rising. I know in, I believe, March, there's some event where they're planning on reprinting ST1 through ST4, which are the starter decks. I have not heard explicitly if they're going to reprint New Type Rising. That I'm guessing they probably reprint it to some extent, but quite honestly, I don't really know. The sell-through for GD02 has been decent, but I think a lot of this stuff has just been overshadowed by Riftbound at this point. So I don't think there's a whole lot to talk about with Gundam. Organized play still seems to be reasonably strong, but not as strong as Riftbound. So Riftbound is absolutely batshit crazy. The boxes are pushing $300, $250 last I saw. UVS has no idea how to keep enough product of this out there. I think I mentioned it to everybody a couple videos ago. This reminds me a lot of Lorcana when it came out, first chapter, where everybody knew that they were going to print the crap out of it, but there was such a bottleneck of product, a huge imbalance of supply versus demand. When the set came out, the boxes just ran. I think it's going to be the same here, only there's actually some decent playability here. And I think, quite honestly, these guys are a little bit more limited in print capacity, at least I've seen so far. Now there is a first reprint of Riftbound Origins coming. I've heard end of December. I've also heard early January. So chances are, if you're holding boxes for a speculative reason, I would probably not risk holding through that reprint. We have no idea how big it's going to be or how small it's going to be. When I know how big it's going to be relative magnitude, I'll let you guys know. Spirit Forge comes out in February. It looks like the order due date's coming up in the next month or so. But I think most distributors have a good idea of how much they're getting there. At least end of last week, they were getting purchase orders. When I have, again, some idea of magnitude versus origins, I'll let you guys know. Sorcery Contest Realms, it looks like distribution-wise for Gothic, looks like distributors cut most folks by like 60%, cut them down to 40%, which is a little bizarre because you have a set that's basically desperate for sales. So cutting product that much, it's a little weird. I mean, I would have anticipated like a cut down to like 70% of ask. So we'll see what happens there. I did not get cut on any precons. Nobody I know got cut on precons. But the booster boxes, it's a weird one. So my guess is it's going to come in a couple waves. My concern here is once it releases, does the demand go to zero? Because everybody who's interested has now gotten their product. So that being said, we will let's move to Weiss. It looks like there's a second reprint of Asher Lane coming out. I don't know why. The first one was good, but not great. So I'm not sure there's going to be any demand for it, quite honestly, other than people that they buy Weiss and they want to buy it, sit on it. But the problem with the first one is that the tariffs were so high that it became a little cost prohibitive, depending on who you bought from. Some distributors didn't pass the tariffs through, which was good. Some did not then, but they've adjusted to pass them through now. But Free Run, I will mention, is coming out in December. That is a second reprint, and it seems to be underordered. Plus, the second season of the anime is coming out in January. So, that one's interesting. Moving on to Pokemon. So, the 800-pound gorilla, other than, we'll talk about the important stuff later. We have this Pokemon Day collection, which is fascinating. So, it is 3 packs. It says 3 different packs. What it's showing here is one Phantasmal, one Mega, and then the screen is also Phantasmal. I think MSRP is like $15. I think most of these are selling right around $9 to $3 a pack for distribution, which is, quite honestly, it's pretty cheap. It looks like the quantity of these is really similar to the rest of these items, which is interesting. Now I'm sure they're going to sell a ton of these on Pokemon Center. But I mean, my presumed allocations before anything's set in stone, because there's nothing set in stone yet, is really along the lines of the same quantity of the rest of all these ancillary products. So speaking of, Mega Lucario EX is out now. The Prismatic Premium Figure Collection, I've gotten billed for some. I don't think I've received any. So that is such a messy one, release-wise. Mega Gengar Diancie decks, I got some. But for Fantasma Flames, most of my product came on Friday, like 2 days ago. So it's been a total shit show. And I don't think it's the distributor's fault. I think it's the fact that the Pokemon Company just didn't get the product to them in time. We do know that the ETBs came very, very late. We do know that the 3-pack blisters came very, very late. And quite honestly, 3 of our 7 shipments were missing stuff from distribution. So it's been a total shit show. I will remind you that what we've gotten is only 50%. The same with the Mega Charizard UPC. There is a lot more product coming. Obviously, the longer it takes to get the product, the more the price is going to hold up. Obviously, the prices of Fantasma Flames have plummeted, including the Charizard or the Gold Charizard, which struck me as a little curious. I mean, you're at $1,000 and $700, which is pretty much what I've been predicting for 2 months now. And the rest of the set doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of value. And then you have the Mega Kangaskhan, the Fall Collector's Chest. These are all coming in December. And also the Mega Venusaur is coming in December. So it's going to be interesting here because we should start getting spoilers of the high quality set. I know we saw some for Japan. It's Mega Dragonite, whatever. Mega Dream, I think it's called. So, that'll come out. That'll be super interesting. I'm sure it's going to be an absolute home run. So, all right, last but not least, we'll talk Magic. Avatar pre-releases was this weekend. It was better than Spider-Man. It seems like there's a decent amount of demand. It seems like there's some playable cards. The Jumpstart stuff, I think, is really, really interesting. But a lot of the products getting dumped across the board, except for the collector boxes seem okay. The Commander bundles, I've seen them anywhere between $110 and $200. It's kind of mind blowing here, and the promos are really, really interesting. But we'll see what happens. The price of things other than Jumpstart and obviously the beginner box nobody cares about has held up reasonably okay. The scene boxes have held up, and I have no idea why. The play boxes are fine. Final Fantasy Holiday. I assume this is going to start shipping in this week or next week. So that's interesting. Lorwyn, we'll see what happens there. I would anticipate we're going to get some extra allocations as we get closer, the order window hasn't closed here yet. And then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, we do have an order due date here on Southern is 1/20, but we do only have like 3 weeks with the rest of the distributors. I have no idea how to play this one. Quite honestly, it scares the shit out of me. But then, you roll into Strixhaven, which I don't even know what to think about that. But then you roll into the June Universes Beyond set, which is The Hobbit, which should be good. So, as a store with access to distribution, I have no idea how to play it other than, you buy what you normally do and you push your allocation up and you hope you don't get smoked. And, you just wait for The Hobbit to come out and hope to God it's a decent set and it prints money because like Hasbro desperately needs it. So anyway, guys, I'm going to go watch the Eagles game. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, and have a great Sunday.